Hello everyone, welcome to my class. Myself Janisha from St. Joseph Composite PU College, Vijaypur. In the last class, we have discussed about the consumption function. In that, there is a functional relationship between consumption and income, and also aggregate demand and the graphical presentation. All these things we discussed from this chapter. Today, in this episode, we are going to discuss about the investment and also investment function. Then students, let me discuss about in detail regarding this concept. Okay students, then what is investment? Investment means what? In generally, we can define investment is buying shares, stocks, bonds, securities existing in stock market. That means investment here, what? Purchasing the or buying the shares, bonds, securities, debentures, etc. That is from stock market. That is what? Investment. One of the famous economists, J.M. Keynes, he defined investment refers to real investment which adds to capital stock, production and purchase of capital goods. That means, so those investment which adds to the capital stock or the capital goods and also production process, that is what investment according to J.M. Keynes. Now let me discuss about investment function. Then what is investment function? The functional relationship between investment and income is called investment function. Dear students, remember, okay, there is a functional relationship between investment and income is what? Investment function. Can you remember regarding the consumption function? So their consumption function means what? That is a functional relationship between consumption and income. Yes, like that only. Investment function means what? There is a functional relationship between investment and income. Okay, thus we can written like this. I is equal to I dash. Here, in a two-sector model, investment means autonomous investment. That means I is equal to I dash. You can see there. Right? So here, autonomous investment means what? As you know that the word autonomous. Right? So autonomous investment is independent of income. Hence, it remains constant irrespective of changes in income. That means autonomous investment. Here, income in a constant stage. Why? Because here this investment is mainly what? Independent of its income. That means investment which is not depending on income, that's why it is called as autonomous investment, and here income is what? Constant stage. As it is same in your consumption. Yes, autonomous consumption. There also, because autonomous means what? Independent. For what? That is for income. Why? Because income? Because it is a functional relationship. Okay. So thus we can written like this. I is equal to I dash means what? Autonomous investment. This investment function we can express with the help of diagram. Here graphically this can be shown as a horizontal line. You can see here what it is in the horizontal line. So at a height equal to I dash above the horizontal axis. Right? Here that means what? Here investment which is autonomous or investment which is independent to its income. So that it is in the horizontal axis. Now we'll discuss about effect of an autonomous change in aggregate demand on income and output. That means, what is the effect of autonomous change in aggregate demand on income and output? Dear students, equilibrium level of income, that is depend on aggregate demand. So, equilibrium level of income, which is mainly depending on aggregate demand. So, aggregate demand means what? Total demand. Okay. Thus, if aggregate demand changes, then the equilibrium of income also changes. Why? Because equilibrium level of income, which is depending upon what? That is aggregate demand. Okay. Thus, aggregate demand is main reason for changing the equilibrium level of income. And this will happen in these two situations. One is change in consumption. So according to this change in consumption, so why this change in consumption will take place? So consumption will changes because of two reasons. One is change in C, another one is change in small letter c. That means what? Change in consumption, another one is means change in autonomous consumption, another one is change in induced consumption. As you know that both of this. So autonomous consumption means what? Independent of its income. Induced consumption means what? Dependent of its income. Right? So this is the reason what? That is consumption will be changes. Second situation is change in investment. So again here we have assumed that investment is what? Autonomous. However, it just means that it does not depend on income. So investment is always autonomous, so that we can say that investment which is not depend on income. There are a number of variables other than income which can affect investment. That means the income, not in the income, but other variables. Okay, other than the income, other variables that can affect investment. The following are the important factors which are affect in the autonomous consumption. First one, availability of credit. As you know that easy availability of credit which encourages what? Savings. See how the savings will be formulated. That is availability of a credit. And second factor is interest rate. When interest rate is low, the investment will be high and vice versa. That means what? When the interest rate is low, that means what? Investment will be high. And when there is a interest rate is high, then investment will be low. So this is second factor. Okay students, you just observe in this diagram here. When autonomous investment increases, the AD1 line shift in parallel upwards and assumes the position AD2. You just observe here. Yes. So this what? AD1 line, this is shift in parallel to upward and assumes the position what? AD2. Why this happens? Why this aggregate demand AD1 and 2? Why this is aggregate demand? Here it will change because of the autonomous investment. Due to the autonomous investment increases, then AD1 line, that is shift in parallel to upward, and which assumes the position is what? AD2. This is what we observe in this diagram. The value of aggregate demand at output Y2. So see here. So this is what? Y2 is what? This is what? Y2 is what? That is output. So value of aggregate demand at output Y2 is YJF1. See here Y2 level. So that is output level is what? That is Y, J and F1. So this is what the output level, and which is greater than the value of output OY1. That means output level OY1 comparing to this. So which is greater than OY1 and which is equal to Y1 with the amount of E1F. That means E1F means this position here. E1F. E1F1 position. Okay, and also here E1F measures the amount of excess demand, so that emerges in the economy as a result of the increase in autonomous expenditure. So as you know that in this previous, so due to the autonomous investment, okay, aggregate demand will change. So like that, due to the autonomous expenditure, increase in autonomous expenditure, then the demand will also increases, that is up to excess demand. It will reach us to excess demand. Thus, we find the new equilibrium in the final goods market. We must look for the point where the new aggregate demand line, that is what AD2, which intersect the 45-degree line. See here, this is what 45-degree line. Yes, so this 45-degree line, here we can observe that new equilibrium point will be started. That means what? We can find out new equilibrium in the final goods and goods market, and here we can point it out here at the AD2 line. So we observe this is what AD2 line. Okay, so this AD2 line which is intersect with the point, okay, at the 45-degree line. The new equilibrium value of output and aggregate demand are Y2 and AD2 respectively. Thus, what new equilibrium? Thus, we can say that new equilibrium value of output and aggregate demand are, that is output is what? Y2 and aggregate demand is what? That is AD2 at the point of E2 level of what? Equilibrium point. This is what the diagram.